All right, so welcome back for example 4, an application. So this says a cafeteria has 18 chocolate milk cartons and 24 regular milk cartons. The cook wants to arrange the cartons with the same number of cartons in each row. Chocolate and regular milk will not be in the same row. Okay, so there's going to be rows that are just chocolate and rows that are just regular milk. How many rows will there be if the cook puts the greatest possible number of cartons in each row? So we want the greatest number that can go where we have the same number and we don't mix the chocolate milk and the regular milk. Okay, so that means that we are finding the greatest common factor between 24 and 18. And that's going to tell us when we find the greatest common factor is going to tell us how many cartons are going to be in each row. But that doesn't necessarily tell us how many rows, right? It wants to know how many rows will there be if the cook puts the greatest possible number of cartons in each row. So first we're going to find the greatest possible number of cartons, okay? That's what we're gonna find first. That's our GCF. So first thing, find the GCF, okay? Second step is then to find how many rows there are. How many rows? So that's second step, number of rows, okay? I think when I do this GCF, I'm gonna do it the fast way, okay? So I'm going to break down 24 and 18, and I'm gonna break that down into my prime factorization, okay? So 24 and 18, 24 is the same thing as 4 times 6. 4 is the same thing as 2 times 2. 6 is the same thing as 2 times 3. My prime factorization is going to be 2 to the 3rd power times 3, right? Now I'm going to do the prime factorization for 18, which is 3 times 6. And that's done, and then 6 is the same thing as 2 times 3. So my prime factorization is going to be 2 times 3 squared. So this means that my GCF, right, what do they both have in common? Well, they both have a 2 in common, right? This has 2 cubed, so it has more 2s, and this just has 1 2. So what they have in common is just 2. And then 3, they both have 3, but what they have as common is just a 3. I mean, this has 3 squared, but this doesn't have 3 squared. So what they have in common is a 3. Okay, that means that our GCF is 2 times 3, which is 6. That is the amount of cartons in each row. Okay, now we just need to figure out, so boom, done. Okay, we found the GCF at 6. Now we have to figure out how many rows will there be, right? If the cook puts 6 in each row. So how many rows will there be for chocolate milk? If there's 6 cartons in a row, right, we're just basically doing 8 divided by 6. So this is the second step. 18 divided by 6, that's going to give us 3 rows of what? Chocolate milk. And then how many rows of, the regular milk? 24. So if there's 6 in a row, then it's going to be 24 divided by 6, which is, what's that, 4? So 4 rows of regular milk. And then what was the total? So just 3 plus 4, which is, so it's a total of 7 rows. So that is the answer. Perfect. Okay, now it is your turn. Check it out, example 4. Go ahead and try that one out. Here's my friend, the pause dragon. Remind you to pause your device. When you get done, press play and we'll talk about it. All right, see you in a bit. Okay, let's see how you did. Check it out, example 4. It says Adrian is shopping for a CD storage unit. Do you guys even remember what CDs are? You remember CDs? You know what CDs are, right? It's almost like a DVD. Used to play music. They're shiny. Anyways, Adrian is shopping for a CD storage unit. She has 36 CDs by pop music artists and 48 CDs by country music. So we got pop and we got country. She wants to put the same number of CDs on each shelf without putting pop music and country music CDs on the same shelf. Okay, so it's kind of like separated. It's kind of like the same thing. If Adrian puts the greatest possible number of CDs on each shelf, how many shelves does she need? Does her storage unit need? Okay, so again, the greatest possible number of CDs, that is our GCF. Okay, so first step, find the GCF. Second step, find the number of shelves. Okay, so let's do it. What do we have? 36 and 48. So we're just going to break down both of those numbers. 36 is the same thing as 4 times 9. You might have done it differently. That's okay. 4 times, I'm going to break it into its prime factorization, 2 times 2. And then 9 is the same thing as 3 times 3. So the prime factorization is 2 squared times 3 squared. Okay, now let's break down 48. 48 is the same thing as 6 times 8. 6 times 8 is 48. And then we're going to break this down to 2 times 3, prime, prime. 8 is the same thing as 2 times 4. This is prime, but this is not. We got to break this down, right, to 2 times 2. Now what do we have? We have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. That's to the 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 to the 4th power times 3. Okay? Now, what is this? This is equal to 36, and this is equal to 48. So we got to find the GCF. That will tell us how many CDs go on each shelf, the greatest number of CDs that can go on each shelf. So GCF equals, okay, what do they have in common? 2s, yes. What's the greatest amount of 2s that they have in common? So we have a 2 squared here. We got a 2 to the 4th. So the greatest amount they both have in common would be 2 squared. And then we're going to move to the 3. So we have 3 squared here and 3. So the greatest amount they both have in common would be just 3. So that means that our greatest common factor is 2 squared, which is 4. Like 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. So our greatest common factor is 12. But we have to figure out how many, what does it want to know? Okay, so there's going to be 12 CDs on each shelf, right? And we need to figure out how many shelves does her storage unit need. So if we start with 36, which is pop music, right? So I think I'm going to take this and go here. So if we have 36 total CDs and you're going to put 12 on each shelf, then it's basically 36 divided by 12, which is 3. 3 rows or 3 shelves of pop, right? Pop music. And then what's the other one? 48. So 48 divided by 12 CDs on each shelf. And 48 divided by 12 is 4 shelves of country. And I'm pretty sure if Adrian puts the greatest possible number of CDs on each shelf, which is 12, how many shelves? So we need the total number of shelves. So 3 plus 4 would be 7. So 7 shelves is the answer. If you got that one right, yokaneki mashita, you did a wonderful job, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.